Hello and welcome to 5 Habits of. Today we are joined by the brilliant Jennie Blake, and she is going to be taking us through her 5 habits of manifestation. How are you doing, Jennie Blake?
I am doing very well, thank you, Michael. How's things with you?
It's all good. The sun is shining. I've had my fill of coffee and I'm ready to go.
Yay.
So,
yes,
let's get into this. Could you tell us a tiny bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, I can. I would call myself a wellbeing practitioner. I have a background in cognitive hypnotherapy, solution-focused practice, and burnout coaching. So I do a little bit of all of that, deliver some training for organizations. I run retreats and workshops for individuals and a little bit of stress management coaching, again, on a one-to-one basis.
Amazing. Cool. And today we are going to be talking about manifestation. And in the intro, we put that this isn't as woo-woo as you think. Could you, for those who don't know, just tell us a little bit about manifestation and how you see it in the world?
Yeah, thanks for asking. I think manifesting is about calling in your ideas. It's about having your ideas, your goals, your dreams appear in your life as if by magic. But there is a little bit of science to this as well. So it's really the process of bringing your ideas and your dreams to life. It's as simple as that.
Okay, brilliant. So we are going to go into much more detail. We have our 5 habits, and today we are live. So if you've got a comment and if you are watching and you've got a question, comment, stick it in. We'll have a chat about it, and we'll also bring it into what we're talking about. So it's Friday afternoon. Let's get into it. What is habit number 1?
Habit number 1 is starting with focus. So we need to be really, really clear, really intentional on what the goal is, what the dream is that we want to manifest in our lives. Now, this is where we bring some science in straight away. Okay, so we need to identify what our goal is, what our dream is, what the thing is that we want to manifest. And now we want to use a very particular part of our brain. Well, it's strictly speaking outside of the brain. It's in the brain stem. It's called the reticular activation system. So you may or may not have heard of it. I like to think of the reticular activation system as our brain's algorithm. It's like our own mental algorithm center. We can feed it some information. It will search for evidence of that information. It will search for more of that thing that we're telling it to look for. I really like the idea that we've got an algorithm in our brain that we can kind of program.
Yeah. I'm
hoping that will appeal to people, that idea. That's that's an actual thing. So what happens is that filter in our brain, or as part of our brain's function, starts looking for what we tell it to look for. Now, this is really important. It's important that we understand how this works, because our brain will focus on whatever we're feeding it. It's really important, therefore, that we focus on, or we tell that part of our brain to focus on what we want rather than what we don't want. As an example, I've told you already that I've had some time to focus on building a new part of my business. And if I had focused on, I'm not getting much training work at the moment, for example, then I will start looking for evidence of that in my life. Like, oh no, there's not enough. There's a lack. There's a scarcity. There's not, that will be what I look for. If instead I focus on, well, look at this time that I've got in my life at the moment because I want to do other things with it, then my brain will start focusing on that instead. Like, look at this opportunity. Look at this space that you've got, this time, this opportunity to do other things. So it's a positive focus rather than a negative focus. Does that make sense?
It does. So are we talking about when you set out in the day looking for things that you want to happen? So if I go out and I want coffee, if I want to manifest coffee in my day every day, if I'm walking down the high street, I'm scanning for coffee shops, right?
Yes, but starting with focus means that at the start of your day, you want to tell yourself actively, right, I want a really good coffee today. There's lots of different ways. There's lots of different practices that you can set a focus. I think I've probably told you before, I go out on my balcony every morning and I do a bit of gratitude and I set an intention for the day. And that intention is really, what's my priority for today? Is it a piece of work? Is it something that I want to feel? Is it something that I want to do? Is it something that I want to have? So that's one practice, but it could be anything. It could be that you journal. It could be that you just write a goal for your day in your to-do list. It could be that you're digital and you pop something into your calendar or some other platform that you're using. But it's really being intentional, right? This is the goal. It could be for today. It could be for the week. It could be for the month. It could be for the year. But what is this thing that I want to focus on? What is my intention here?
Nice. And then if you're looking for it, you can then decode it, right? So you're trying to spot those signals. It's really interesting. Where I went to Tokyo in February.
Oh yeah.
And I got really thrown out because the way I normally walk around cities, I know what I'm looking for, and you're reading all the signs. And believe it or not, I couldn't magically read Japanese. I was thrown out a bit because I was so used to going, right, I need to go do X.
Yeah.
And you just walk around and you're looking for the signs.
Yeah.
But they just weren't there.
No.
And I was just like, I was like, this is really frustrating. I was like, oh my God, I've got to change. I actually had to change how I approached doing something, and I had to change my intention, which is a bit like this, isn't it? What is the thing I need and how am I going to get it?
Yeah. Similarly, and I don't know if you know this, I used to teach hypnobirthing classes. Have I told you this before?
No. Tell me about hypnobirthing.
I am a hypnobirthing instructor and doula. So I used to support pregnant couples around the birth of their child. And one of the techniques that we use in hypnobirthing is, again, trying to get the couple to focus on all of the things that they do want for their birth rather than the things that they don't want. So as an example, if you don't want to have a cesarean, let's not think about the cesarean. Let's not keep talking about it, because your brain is going to start connecting with that. That's your algorithm going, oh, we're talking about cesarean again. Right, let's think about that some more. Let's look for evidence that we're going to need that. It's going to grab hold of that, and kind of that's going to be the thing that you will call in. So instead, we want to focus on all the things that you do want. What do you want? Do you want a quick birth? Do you want a peaceful birth? Let's talk about that. Let's watch videos that show us that. Let's really activate that reticular activation system so that the algorithm is looking for evidence that that's possible, that is, there for us to have. Yeah.
Nice. And I guess that's all. And we are going off all sorts of tangents. So I guess that's really about. But when you start seeing signs of things you want, you will relax. When you start seeing signs of things that stress you, you tense up. And actually, it really goes back to, do you know what I mean? You start to go into that negative space. And this is really about what is a sign that I'm heading in the right direction and looking for those.
Yeah. So what we're saying is, with your algorithm, with your reticular activation system, it's going to look for evidence of whatever you're saying to yourself is true. So let's feed it some things that we want it to look for. Let's be intentional about that. So if you want to have 5 new clients lined up next week, if you say that that's your intention, right, I'm going to have 5 new clients lined up next week, your brain is now going to start looking for evidence that that is true. So it might look at some new inbox, inquiries. It might be some new connections on LinkedIn. It's going to notice that. And that is going to make you feel good. And that's going to make you more receptive to allowing that to happen. Yeah, and this is going to connect with some of the other habits, actually. So that's
and I think we've already segued a little bit onto number 2. What is habit number 2 that we need to think about?
Habit number 2 is having some visual cues. I was going to say QUBs and visual cues. Visual cues. This is a bit like a mental rehearsal. This is about surrounding yourself with things that remind you of this intention, this thing that you want to manifest, to call in. It could be a Post-it note. It could be a screensaver. It could be a vision board. Lots of people have vision boards. It's about reminding your brain of this thing that matters to you, this thing that you want to achieve. It's this intention. These are not just decorations. It's not just, random things that you're putting around the place. It's a signal to your subconscious. You're signaling to your subconscious to stay on track. It's keeping that reticular activation system going in the direction that you want it to go in. I have lots of visual cues around me because I know that it's really powerful for me. So I'll often have affirmations written and I'll post them around the place. I'm looking up there because I've got a check that I've written to myself, and I've blue tacked it to the shelf near my desk. And it's a check for a certain amount of money. and it's addressed to me. So it says pay Jennie Blake, and then it's a certain amount of money, and it's signed from the universe. And it's, you know, it's kind of a novelty thing. It's not anything too serious, but it's worked for me in the past. I don't have to do anything with that. I've just written the check and I've posted it up there. And every time I look in that direction, I see it. It's just a signal to my subconscious that I want my brain to focus on that amount of money because I'm trying to manifest that amount of money. So yeah, like I don't need to, it's no effort. This is a no effort thing. It's there, it's signaling. My algorithm is going to be looking out for more of that.
Nice. Okay, I love it. So with that, is the other side of that coin taking away cues that no longer take you where you need to go?
Oh, I hadn't considered that, but I'd say yes, definitely. Yeah, if there's something in your eyesight that's giving you negative imagery or signaling that you couldn't achieve your goal, or in fact is just taking you towards other different goals, then yeah, get rid of them. Let's be super focused, super intentional.
Nice. Okay, awesome. So that's habit number 1 and 2. What's the third habit we need to think about?
The third habit is using language that leads. So it's about affirming language. It's about understanding that language is really powerful. I'm a really big believer in affirmations. We believe anything that we tell ourselves largely. So if we tell ourselves negative stuff, we end up believing it. Similarly, if we tell ourselves positive things, then we end up believing it. We can program our own brains. That's how our brains work. It's just it's repetition, right? Actually, that's what it is. If you hear something enough times, you start believing it to be true. Now, the beautiful thing about affirmations that I always say to people is that we don't have to believe that it's true the first time we say it. Okay. We don't have to. We can pick something that we're working towards. We can pick something that we want to be true. And the more we say it, the more likely it is that we will achieve it, because our brain is opening up those new neural pathways so that we can walk down them and make that thing a reality, make that thing a fact. So it can be really, really helpful. You know, if we're telling ourselves, oh, I can't lose weight, it's impossible, then that's going to be your truth. Because you're literally telling yourself that you can't. And so you're not even going to try. It's not even going to be a possibility. Whereas if your goal is, let's say, to lose weight, then you just create that language that can open up the possibility where it can be true. Like, I can lose weight. I find it easy to lose weight, whatever, it might be about earning money. It might be finding new clients. It might be exercise. It could be anything, but, find the thing and start talking positively to yourself. Start creating that neural pathway that means that could be a possibility.
Yeah, I love it. And that's actually part of my geeky origin story. So, So when I almost burnt out because I was at a brilliant place to work, but I was just overwhelmed by everything, and it was getting on top of me. And I had the wrong habits, and when anyone asked me how am I doing, I'm like, oh crap, the team are a bunch of idiots, all that jazz.
Yeah.
But that was a default answer. I'd made that so grained and put that groove in. And then someone came and they gave a talk and go, right, your challenge for 21 days is to say brilliant. It's the first thing that comes out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Then you can say, and the team are being a bit funny today. However, that's a very different frame, isn't it? And actually, that's the thing that really got me onto the tiny changes. When you get that cue, what is your response?
Yeah,
and that will take you in the right direction. So, absolutely feel that one, and have been there, and have got the t-shirt.
And did it work? Then? Did it work? Did it change?
100%, like completely check. I went from probably someone they were worried about at work to being someone that was actually well respected and caused a lot of positive change in the organization. So, but it was all through that one change, and I still do it. People ask me, I go, I'm brilliant. It is just hard baked, and it's not true all the time, but it's not the reality of the it's crap, because that is not a good place to be for any period of time.
The thing is that we've got to understand here, we're talking about neural pathways. These are a real thing in our brains, right? If we feel a certain way about something, we want to change how we feel about it. We need to change how we're talking about it. That's what starts firing up those pathways in our brain to accept that there might be other things that we could feel, that there could be other possibilities and other outcomes. And it is so powerful. Like I can't underestimate. I've done the same thing. Oh, now I'm going to say the negative thing. I don't really enjoy flying. And I used to say a lot, I'm terrified of flying. That would be the statement I would make. Oh, I'm terrified. I'm so scared, blah, blah, blah. And then I realized that this is not helping me at all. If I keep saying this, it's going to become worse and worse. I'm really embedding that neural pathway. In fact, I'm running back and forth down that track and really making it true. And I just want to be conscious that actually I don't have to feel like this. I can change this, but that means consciously talking to myself in a different way, like changing that pathway, changing the way that I feel about it, and having a different experience as an outcome.
Nice. I love it. Okay, so we're over halfway now. Yep. What is habit number 4?
Habit number 4 is about feeling it. So it's about anchoring your vision, anchoring this intention with your feelings, with your emotions. So this is another powerful technique that we can get our brains to connect with this thing that we want to achieve. So let's go back to this idea that somebody might want to manifest £1 million. Maybe that's the thing they want to manifest. I would really encourage somebody to try and anchor to the feeling of that. Like, what would that feel like if you woke up tomorrow morning and there was £1 million in your bank account? I want you to really activate, again, those neural pathways in your brain to accept that could happen, that money is real, that it is in reach. We don't need to know how. This is the kind of the slightly woo part of manifestation. We don't need to work out the absolute step-by-step journey. We just need to trust that it's a possibility. We need to set up our brains so that we can accept that it could happen, because what we focus on, what our brain focuses on, expands in our life. Okay, so let's just focus on the idea that, we can achieve $1 million. And what does that feel like? It feels really good. This is a possibility. Let's now be drawn to that in whatever way we can, whatever opportunities come up in our life. Let's think about that as maybe being the pathway to getting that $1 million, or whatever it is. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And it's part of the productivity pod. So when I run those halfway through one of the weeks, we reflect back. You're halfway. What does it mean when you reach this goal, when you've built that thing?
Yes.
And that's actually part of a course of action as well. So you are working towards it. So it's manifestation plus action.
It is. This is actually also part of solution focused therapy. So solution focused brief therapy is a therapeutic approach that helps people focus on the solutions, focus on the outcomes they want to achieve in their life, rather than focusing on the problem. So a lot of traditional therapy really focuses, when you're in a one-to-one with your therapist, you'd focus on what's wrong in your life and kind of what's caused that and how it makes you feel and all of this. Is very problem oriented. Solution focused therapy is focusing on the outcome and the solution. And because actually that's more motivational to focus on that. Like, you're more likely to drive your life in that direction if that's the thing that you're focusing on, and it makes you feel good to think about it, rather than dwelling in this problem state over here. So one of the techniques that they use in solution focused therapy is actually asking the question, how would it feel if you had resolved this? Or what would it look like in your life? How would you know? How would other people around you know? Like, what difference would they notice in you? And it's like this kind of excitement that you can generate about this new potential outcome in your life that you could achieve. That's a hugely motivational thing for us, like on a really deep psychological level. It's ridding ourselves from the heaviness of the problem state and actually really connecting with the excitement of this beautiful new outcome that we want to achieve in our lives. That's going to help draw us to that place.
Absolutely. And it helps you think about processes that you may not have thought about. So you said there that how will you get there? Like, and in that state of I'm there. Oh, and you look back at something you may want to do to get there that you haven't thought about yet.
Yes.
So it all compounds, doesn't it? It all adds up. One feeds another.
Yeah, definitely. And it's getting ourselves out of that place of feeling perhaps sometimes a bit stuck. Sometimes when we're feeling tired, lacking in energy, problematic, stuck, there's a sense of being stuck and I can't see the route out of here. It sometimes the only way out of that is just to think about the future, not think about the how, but just think about what it could be. And that might slowly start changing things for us.
I love it. Okay, so if we're talking about compounding these all up, what is the final habit number 5 that we need to think about?
Yes, habit number 5. This is important. Reflecting, recalibrating, taking some time out to just make sure that the actions that we are taking are in alignment with this goal that we've set ourselves, with this intention. I can't remember who it was that talks about this, but I know that there's kind of a few people out there and kind of thought leaders that talk about how important it is that we don't just set a goal and then that's it. Like, we do need to take some aligned actions. We don't always know all of the steps, and that's fine, but it's about the kind of the little things that we can do in our everyday life that might take us one step further. So I would encourage everyone to think about the final habit as being maybe taking 10 minutes out at the end of the week to just look back at their week and say, okay, what moved me closer this week to my goal? What actions did I take that just, edged me a little bit closer towards this thing that I want to manifest? What got in my way? Were there any challenges? Like, it's useful to examine that because they might come up again next week. What would I do differently if that happened again? And then finally, very, very important question to ask here is, what's one small thing that I can do or that I can shift or that I can, do next week? So but it has to be tiny. It doesn't have to be like, right, I'm going to go and get a new job next week. It's like, no, if that was the goal to get a new job, like, what is one small thing I could do? Maybe I could register on a new agency website or something, just one small action. If we create loads of actions that are too big or too many, we will get overwhelmed. I mean, we're less likely to do them. So it's just one small thing. What's one small thing that I can do next week that's going to keep me in alignment with this thing that I want to manifest in my life?
Nice. I love it. I love the idea about the one small thing, because it can be really powerful. Because if it's you need to show up in a new community, and you've joined the community, but you haven't built into your day or your thinking yet. Well, actually, I just need to open that Slack channel once a day. And because you will then be in the right place. If you're like, oh, I want to be in this community, you're in a community, but you do nothing in there. It will go no further than that. So what is the one habit that will drive you further?
Exactly. And it's just, these don't have to be these big overwhelming things. It's just a small thing that can make such a big difference. It's like the 80-20, actually. It's like the 80-20 principle, isn't it? Because 20% of our effort can have such a huge impact. So something small, but so powerful.
I love it. Okay, so we've gone through all 5 habits. So let's recap those habits. Habit number 1 is
start with focus.
Habit number 2,
visual cues.
Love it. Habit number 3,
language that leads.
Brilliant. Habit number 4,
feel it first.
And the last one, habit number 5,
reflect and recalibrate.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's been really good to actually just unpack manifestation a bit more, because I think we all do tiny bits of it, and actually doing a little bit more would probably help us all head in that right direction of that self-improvement on that journey.
Yes, it is. And some of this is just about keeping our mindset like happy, positive, in a good place. It's about reminding our brains, this is something that matters to me. Let's keep on track with this. It's not some huge new thing. This is easy to do if we can nurture ourselves along that journey. Does that if that makes sense?
I love it. It does, absolutely. I love it. Okay, so Jennie, if people want to find out more about you and where would they come, and can you tell us what are you working on next? What's the thing that we should keep an eye out for?
Yes. Okay. So 2 really big things I'm very excited about. I have a mini retreat on Saturday, the 17th of May in East London, and very timely, actually. The focus of that is going to be manifestation. So I'm having a mini retreat called Cacao and Creation. We're going to have a cacao ceremony. I'm going to take people on a guided journey. We're going to do some manifestation techniques, some creative activities to just get the juices flowing. So that would be 17th of May. And then I've got a weekend retreat in November in Sussex, which is just going to be absolutely delicious. Lots of lovely, restful, nourishing things that will help people get alignment, but also get some connection in their lives, and most importantly, some rest, because I'm all about rest these days. So yeah, if people are interested in that, please connect with me on LinkedIn. My name is Jennie Blake. Or you can, if anyone's on Instagram, can I do a shout for Instagram?
You do a shout for Instagram. It's going out onto YouTube. So tell us your website as well, so we can find it.
My Instagram handle is something just for me, and my website.
You going to tell us it then?
What? Something just for me?
It sounds like I'm not going to tell you.
No. It's something just for something just for you and for me. It's something just for me. My website is www.jennieblake.com. What are you up to, Michael? What's happening in your world? Tell us about what you're working on.
So what am I working on? I'm running a free Make a Habit May workshop.
Ooh.
So if you want to change just one habit, just part manifestation, part actually making a real change that matters. In May, I'm running Make a Habit May. It's going to kick off on May the 6th, only because of the way the bank holiday weekends fall. I don't want to start anything. It doesn't quite
I feel
work.
like it should have been May the 4th. Surely May the 4th is a good day to start that kind of thing.
It is, but I'm out. So I'm already booked onto something. So, but in terms of, you only need about 21 days, 4 weeks to start building a habit. And there's still 4 weeks left of May if we start on the 6th of May. So there's going to be a call to kick it off. And then if you want, there'll be a call every other Tuesday to come and turn up. And they'll get some tools to help you understand what habit you want to build and just a bit of support to get there. It's all free. Absolutely come, try it, build a habit, be a better human. That's it. You can find me on YouTube, and I've got a productivity prod. It is not a newsletter; it's a prod. It went out today talking about how to build those habits in May, and you can find me on YouTube as well. It's all there. It's all free for you if you want to get involved in all that sort of stuff. So that is everything. So, Jennie, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure. This was 5 Habits of Manifestation.